I've been playing High on Life.
Okay, what is this?
This is the Justin Roiland Shoot Bang.
Okay.
So it was one of the games for last month's Humble Bundle, or Humble Choice, so I got it because I've wanted to play that game for a while. Justin Roiland's personal assholishness aside. The game is a mixed bag, shall we say. I think the gameplay is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the concept of living guns. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, so do they have, like, personalities, I guess?
Yeah. The guns, they do that thing that a lot of games do nowadays, which is how often do you want the NPC to talk to you? It's in the options menu. And
okay, yeah, so
Kenny is the most annoying.
You can turn the frequency
gun.
up or down.
Kenny is the default gun, and it's just Justin Roiland doing Morty.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it doesn't have Morty's personality. He's just doing the Morty voice for it.
Okay, so he's more like Mr. Meeseeks or something.
No, it's not even that. It's just he's constantly yelling at you, and it's just like, could you shut the fuck up? Like, I don't want to turn the frequency down because the other guns are fun, but Kenny is annoying. But he's the basic pistol that you have for most of the game.
Sure.
You very quickly get the knife, which is also a living and sentient being, and it is 100% voiced by Cusack.
Sure.
Doing his Australian voice.
Hello, I'm going to stab you now.
Yeah, except he's much more of a mean bastard cunt about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So much so that when you first grab him, he goes, Gene. Yeah, come on, let's go, stab that fucker. And you can stab Gene, who is your NPC bounty hunter friend. And it's just like, you didn't stab me anywhere important, but fuck, you don't have to listen to the knife every time it tells you to stab something. So this is why it's a mixed bag, because some of the jokes are really funny, but most of the jokes are just really like, yeah, okay, you're Justin Roiland and this is your sense of humour, and it's fine for some folks, but I'm really not digging it. It's not my type thing.
Sure. So like sometimes it's funny, sometimes it feels very forced kind of thing.
It's very season 1 Rick and Morty.
Right, okay. Which again was very hit and miss. Like episode 1, garbage. Every other episode has at least something fun about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of TV skits going on TVs all over the place, and it feels like, you remember the interdimensional TV box bullshit where they straight up say...
they just ad-lib for like 3 hours worth of content, and then they just pick out the best stuff and animate that, yeah.
Yeah, so it feels like that is what they did for the TV skits, which is fine, but it's shit.
Two guys. It's just called Two Guys.
I mean, I really found funny the monster truck versus human, because when the guy breaks at the end and starts laughing, he goes, "How would the car ever lose?" It's the funniest part of the entire fucking skit. But they paid for a movie to just be in the game.
Okay.
Something about a T-Rex. It's on in the background when you talk to Gene almost all the fucking time, and sometimes you see a bit of tit.
Sure.
So it's one of those where, like, whatever. There are parts of this game that are straight up just fucking irritating because they're trying to take the piss out of other games. They're like, oh, look at this boring mechanic from another game. And it's like, yeah, it is boring. Why are you making me do it for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
There's a part where you sit down and you have to do paperwork, Rick.
Oh, boy.
You do it via a QTE.
Oh, okay. Being told that is funny. Having to do it, I assume, is not.
If you did it once, it would be fine. I'd be like, okay, that's a fun gag. They make you do it about 20 times.
Oh, fuck me.
And the entire time you've got background characters being goofy and having dialogue, and it's like, I can't pay attention to this. I want to get through this segment. It's boring. They have 3 whole bits dedicated to activating detective mode.
Yeah.
And I don't mind detective mode in games, so this one rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but... yeah, you do the detective bit, and by the time you collect all the evidence, which is really easy to find because you don't even really need a detective mode to highlight it, the character that is explaining detective mode to you goes, yeah, no, this isn't enough information to get anything. I'm going to open the door to the next room, and then you got to do it again. You do this 3 fucking times, and then the guy goes, oh yeah, cool, so while we were doing that, I was tracking the bad guy. He's over here, you can just follow your map now. And it's like, who is this for?
Yeah.
And it's really annoying because the bog standard gameplay of shoot the gun and the transportation gimmicks that they've got in it, like you can use the knife to hang off stuff. Each gun has its own special ability, which when you're not in combat is infinite, and you can use it to traverse different geography. It's interesting and fun, but it's broken up by these random fucking bullshit segments that are just there to eat the clock, I guess.
Yeah, to make sure you can't return it within 2 hours.
And ironically enough, the first 2 hours are probably the most fun part of the game, despite the fact you've got Kenny fucking yelling at you for no reason. And the villain, by the way, the plot of the game is that Earth gets invaded by aliens who want to use humans as living drugs. That's why it's called High on Life.
Okay.
So, and you're a human, so yeah. And at some point you talk to the big bad via computer screen, and he's like, I have your parents. Well, he doesn't actually say your parents, so they might not be that. But he says, we've got 2 people that are very special to you. I'm going to torture them and blah, 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 blah. You never see the parents in the game at all. I don't care about these characters.
Yeah.
And I have a suspicion that the character we're controlling also doesn't give a shit. It's a very weird game. The last thing I will touch upon is there's an achievement really early on called Fallout Won't Let You Do This, where you get it for killing a child.
Okay.
Yeah, the kid's very annoying. He knocks you around a bunch and just calls you a piece of shit. And I'm like, yeah, okay. This again has Justin Roiland's writing written all over it.
Yeah.
And then 2 cop drones come and they start shooting at you. So I pull out. I don't even pull out Kenny. Kenny becomes active and I start shooting. And after the gunfight's finished, I just have Kenny going, man, we didn't need to do that, man, and blah 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 blah. Oh, he was just a kid. And I'm like, oh, did I shoot the kid? I did not do that on purpose. I was trying to shoot the drones, and and the kid is constantly in front of you, pushing you around, being an annoying little shit. And Kenny's just feels really bad about it. I'm like, I don't care because I didn't do it on purpose. And even if I did, it's a fucking video game. But slightly further in, you meet the kid's mother, and the kid's mother is just like, oh, I told that kid he was going to get shot one day. I said, if you keep going up there and calling people bitches and saying, yeah, shoot me, someone will shoot you. And also he was 30 years old, which is still a kid for our species. So, and it's just like, what? You've ruined your own joke.
Yeah.
Like, oh, jeez. Like, I didn't think it was particularly funny in the first place, but if I did find it funny, it's like, oh, they're just completely sandbagging it now. Very weird. Very weird. I think I've gotten all the guns. Potentially there's one more gun to unlock. I don't know. But I've only got 2 more bosses to fight if the bounty hunter board is to be believed.
Sure. So even if you do find them all, like, there's not much more game left to do with that, I assume.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
At the moment, my current bounty is the number 2 person in the evil organization, which leads me to believe that the next boss will just be the end boss of the game.
Oakley.
So yeah, I'd buy this game if it was cheap, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh,
and I will just say, very colourful, very graphically okay.
Does it look like Rick and Morty, or is it...
Oh, it feels very Rick and Morty, but I wouldn't say it looks like Rick and Morty.
Okay. Because the last one that they did, I think it was like Topher Saves the World or something, that very much looked and felt like Rick and Morty without being Rick and Morty itself.
Oh, this feels like it could be a really long, bad Rick and Morty episode, but it doesn't look like one.
So, yeah, the whole thing is an interdimensional cable episode.
Oh, yeah. You've got a portal in your house that takes you to all the bounty targets.
Sure.
Oh, God, you just triggered a memory, because I only heard this the other day, where I was finding a bunch of mooks, and as I shot someone, they said, and I quote, sorry there's not more Rick and Morty references. And I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Oh, Jesus.
2 weeks later.
I finished High on Life.
Ah, yes, the Justin Roiland game.
Yeah, the game ended about as well as I expected, truth be told. Like, it's a very pretty game, and the gameplay itself is fun. The writing could be better.
Sure.
The core concept's great. I really do like the idea of here's this alien species that are guns, and those are all they've got top tier designs for all 4 guns. You get a secret 5th gun that you can only use during the final boss, and it's super fucking overpowered because of course it is. But that's fun.
Yes.
The final boss sucked. It wasn't a fun boss fight because it just took mechanics from previous fights and did them again. The second to last boss fight was kind of interesting because it started off really boring, and then they drugged the player character, so everything, yeah, you can do stupid fucking shit. Unfortunately, it was ruined ever so slightly from the character having a Rick voice, so
okay.
But you can't have everything. They made a joke about Psycho Mantis in Metal Gear, and I was like, that's a solid reference, I suppose. And they're like, they're going like, oh, we don't know how to scan your memory card in this day and age, so we're just going to say Fortnite or Minecraft, 200 hours in Minecraft. And that's a good joke. Doesn't really work on me because I don't play those games, but it's a fun
or at least you've not played Minecraft in like 10 years.
Certainly not on that machine.
No.
But yeah, it was a fun joke. There's a bit where he goes, "I'm going to hack into your account now. I'm going to give you an achievement for wasting 15 hours in an alien strip club," and the achievement popped up for that. And I was so curious as to how that achievement existed and how so many people had it.
Sure.
It's because you get it during this boss fight, because it's like, fuck, everyone's going to think you spent 15 hours being a pervert, and it's like, the campaign's not that long. You can beat this game in less than 15 hours very easily.
Yeah.
But, it was a fun boss fight. Like, I'm ragging on it a little bit, but it was fun. The final boss fight had 2 phases, which is unique for this game, because I don't think anything else actually did. As in, it had 2 health bars.
Okay.
Yeah, the first phase was... this boss is trivialized by the fact that you have the Super Mega Ultra Gun.
Right, okay. So it's balanced around that.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to put it. Like, this fight would have taken a lot longer if you didn't have the final ultimate gun, which is called Let's Do It, by the way.
Sure.
So yeah, you beat the first phase and you have to put a bomb inside the creature. I had Morty, the gun, fucking shouting at me saying, "What are you doing? Put the thing inside it. Just stick your hand up this alien's asshole," and all that shit. And I was like, there is no prompt. My game bugged out.
Yeah.
So I reset the checkpoint, and thank fuck, they put a checkpoint after the first phase was done. So it put me straight there, and the prompt was there to shove you. The big joke is you have to fist the final boss and just put this explosive in, and
right up his butthole.
Literally, the joke was that.
Literally the gag from the very first episode of Rick and Morty, right up in your butthole, right up there.
Yep. If you recall last week, I said that they were threatening the player character's parents, and then I corrected myself saying, technically they said your favourite people in the world. Yeah, it turns out the favourite people were Jack Black and some fucking other celebrity who I have no idea who they are.
Sure.
And whoever did the Jack Black impression did a really good Jack Black impression, because it sounded like Jack Black.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then they kill Jack Black in front of you.
Aww.
And the other person as well, whose name escapes me because I generally don't know who they are.
Sure.
But yeah, that was that big joke. You eventually win. They do a fun little... during the closing credits, they have a bunch of Polaroids showing fun shit that happens after the game's finished. That's about it, really. I got this game because it happened to be one of the humble choices, and it's a game I wanted for a while, so I was like, fuck it, I'll spend £9 on these 10 games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd recommend it if you could get it at a discount.
Yeah, good shit.